In this video, I just want to talk about the syllabus, something that we would do if we were, taking the class in person, what we would typically do on the first day. Nothing too exciting other than that. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so get into Lalima, and then you would see the syllabus here. Then you would download it here. I'll just do that here just to follow through. Okay. So, again, this is my second time teaching the course, so I tried to, and the last time was before COVID, if I'm not mistaken. So I try to react to things that I wish would have been different, and so I, substantially revised the course. As a consequence, I seem to be always behind in creating the materials because I'm basically creating them new for the first time. But so at least be patient with me. This is section 4 of the class. My office is in the E building, 217 here on the West Oahu campus. Pretty much this year though, I am kind of split in my duties between here and the Manoa campus. So I'm not always in my office, but I am always on email. If I'm not in my office, then I can't answer the phone. But if you leave a voicemail, I get an email saying so-and-so left a voicemail. I'm not one to ignore phone calls. I'm certainly not one to ignore emails. The only thing I can say about emails, though, is if you take a look down here, I've got 1,585 messages in my inbox. I am not an inbox zero kind of guy. So what that means is that if you send me something and it needs a response from me and I have not replied to you, don't take days and then email me again. Within 24 hours, as long as it's during the week, within 24 hours, if you don't get a response from me, email me again. And I apologize already that it has to come to that, but I think it's actually more worthwhile for you to get a more prompt response than anything else. So, like I said, if you email me and you don't get a response on a timely basis, email me again. I'm not going to treat you any differently. I'm not going to be grumpy. I'm instructing you. I'm asking. I am requesting that you email me again. The worst thing to do would be to wait a week and say, "Oh, you must be busy. I'm going to give him a week." Dude, that's a 15th of our time together in this class, so don't wait that long. Okay, office hours, 1 to 2 p.m. I'll provide the Zoom address here as we're starting to warm up here. But I don't want you to think that you're limited to these office hours. I'm just required to put something down, but you should just contact me if you need to, if you have any questions about anything. Here's the course description. Not a very good course description in my opinion. I didn't write it. Here's how I describe it. Basically, none of you are growing up to be statisticians, yet you are either in BUSA or in the social sciences, and you need to have the statistics course. So I'm generally going into it as you're a student who's required to take this course, and you just want to get through it and be done with it. That's how I'm treating it. As many of you know, since I teach the economics sequence, I'm generally seeing more of the business students, the BUSA students, than I do the social science students. So there'll be time to time, a bit more often, where I try to talk about the BUSA curriculum as opposed to the social science curriculum, but I won't neglect one or the other. Then we've got student learning outcomes. Why are these important? Because they are what at the end of the semester I look at to make sure that I did my job providing you the knowledge that you needed. Now, something new I'm trying this semester is I'm trying to employ more quizzes. And so what these quizzes will do is they'll help you prepare for the exam a little bit more. But what they also do, which is nice, is that they'll reduce some of the weight on the exams. So the quizzes, I haven't really thought about what they will be like, but I'm thinking they will cover about 2 chapters of material, and they will be designed more to help you about the exam. So it'll be kind of like a mini exam, if anything else, with the stakes a little bit easier to complete it. And then the assignments, I made a separate video that talks about how to do those assignments. I do need to post practice assignments, but I do have the graded assignments posted. Okay, textbook. I did make a separate video to talk about the textbook, but quite simply, there is no real great textbook out there, in my opinion. So I picked one better than others. What I like about the book, as I say here, is that it's relatively cheap, less than $40. It's well written, and it's got the homework system contained within it. So usually Lalima can't handle special equations and whatnot, and so this thing comes with a homework system. You know, I'm not forcing you to buy anything we're not going to use a lot. We are going to use this book a lot, if only for the homework system. And it will be where you are probably going to be taking your exams. It'll either be there or Lalima. So there is a separate video. You need to do 2 things for this textbook part. You need to go and opt out of the IDAP book that has been purchased for you, and then you need to buy this book with the homework system, and that would be right here on this site right here. If me saying to you opt out of the IDAP book and you're like, what the hell did he just say, and you watch my video that I made about it and it still doesn't make sense, then I want you to send me an email, and we will do a Zoom session together where I walk you through how to do it. It is very important to me that you not waste your money on the IDAP book, because we are not using that. The book that we are using is, in my opinion, better, cheaper. So I'm going to make an intentional pause right here just to highlight the fact you need this, and you have to do this relatively soon here. You need to opt out of the IDAP book, and then you need to buy the access to this book right here. Okay. Classroom policies. There's basically 2 policies for this online asynchronous course. First one would be is that I will not give extra credit to individuals. If there's extra credit, it goes to the whole class, and it becomes a class-wide activity. I just don't think it's fair to only give extra credit to those who are bold enough to ask for it. The second thing for the classroom policy is, technically speaking, if you don't do something, you know, a homework assignment, an exam, a quiz, by the due date, the score is 0. Now, what is this, 5th day of class, entering the 6th day of class, and I'm only now getting the course all put together and whatnot? I'm not very good with deadlines myself. Now, I didn't have to give you any excuses or reasons why, but I could, I suspect. What I want you to do is, if you can't meet a try your absolute hardest to meet a deadline. But if from time to time a deadline gets missed, I want you to tell me about it. Email me. Tell me why. I am not going to be proactive. I'm not going to say, hey, Kai, I saw you didn't do homework number 2 or 3. What's going on, buddy? That's just not the way I am. I got kids of my own. I don't need to treat you like kids. I'll generally presume if you're not doing something, you are intentionally choosing not to do it. If something happens and you miss a deadline, then tell me about it. The number of the excuses I accept are pretty broadly based. And by that I mean last semester, a student's cat died. That was good enough for me. Someone had in a car accident. Those happen. Work challenges, all those kinds of things. I've heard, this is now my 17th year of teaching. I've heard it all. So reach out to me if something is missed and you care enough to actually do it. Otherwise, it'll just be a 0. Learning challenges and accommodations. Generally, you would know if you need these accommodations. So then you would talk to the ADA coordinator, send her an email, or give a phone call, and you get the accommodation from them, and then that office tells me what you need. Noyau Center does have tutors for this class, so reach out to the Noyau Center if you need help with the material and you don't want to talk to me about it. The university does want to have a safe environment for everyone. If you are experiencing some gender-based discrimination, sex discrimination, or you know of someone who is, then you would want to reach out to the Title IX coordinator. The email address is right here. You could always try to talk to me about this kind of thing, but keep in mind I'm not an expert and I'm not qualified. But if you just want to bend my ear and talk to me about it, you can. Unless you think it's me who's creating that unhealthy environment, then you probably should talk to someone else. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be creating that kind of environment. But you get what I'm saying here, right? If in one of your other classes this is happening, you may not want to approach the faculty member first, unless you just think that there might be a reason why the faculty member is doing what they're doing. I can't imagine what that reason would be, but reach out to the Title IX coordinator, or trust your gut. Reach out to someone that you think would be supportive of you if you are experiencing that kind of discrimination. The Student Code of Conduct obviously applies, so if you want to read probably what's an incredibly boring document, you can click on that link right there. This is an online asynchronous course. So in terms of academic honesty, it is permissible, it is allowed that you would Google things, for instance, when you're doing a homework assignment, or even when you're doing an exam for that matter. That is not cheating. Pretty much the only way you can cheat in this course would be you're not taking the course, you hired some statistician or whatnot to take the course for you. Yeah, that would be violating academic honesty. Or you're exactly copying your friend who's also in this class. That kind of cheating is not allowed. I think it would be difficult for me to determine if you're just copying someone's answers, because it's just things that are multiple choice. It might be difficult for me to suspect that, but I feel that a lot of academic dishonesty is caused by people trying to meet a tight deadline. But because of what I've already said, is that no deadline is a dead deadline. Before you consider violating academic honesty, take a deep breath and then email me and say you're going to miss the deadline. And then you put in your own work to do well, rather than violating academic honesty. Then we've got our grading scale that's just provided to us by the university. And then our breakdown of how you would get a score. Now, the way that I designed this, and then here's our important dates, just to keep those in mind. Why did I repeat that 2 times? Interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to fix this document here. So what I did is I basically I split the course up into 3 parts. And so you will have a set of 4 topics here that we're going to be doing over this first month. And then the homework assignments will all be due on September 26th. The day after that, September 27th, is the date the exam becomes available. And then you have until October 2nd to complete it. Then starts section 2, at which point you are working through the next 4 topics. All these 4 assignments are due on October 31st, Halloween, and then the exam due after. And then we finish up the course in November, which is a relatively short month, with 2 topics that are a bit more complicated. So even though there's only 2 topics, these are rather lengthy topics. Those will be due on November 28th, shortly after Thanksgiving, with the exam then being during the last week of course, the final few days. Okay, that is the course. Again, I'm going to have to fix these slight repetition here. But other than that, if you have any questions about the syllabus, let me know.